Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai, Bashem HaKadosh. Double honors to the apostles and elders, again, most honorable Shalom to the Bible, and like to share the truth. Yeah, like, as far as, the UK goes going forward, it's gonna be peak, bro. It's gonna be a real peak winter going forward. And this is on The Guardian. It says what National Grid warns households could face 3-hour power cuts this winter. So like this this ain't Africa, this ain't Asia. You're not in a village where the power might cut. You gotta have the generator ready to boot up. In case the power cuts overnight. This is, supposed to be a first world country. It's meant to be everything's all meant to be running smooth. It's meant to be the pinnacle of society. But because of how fucking peak this winter's got, and it's purely because of what the energy, not crisis. Well, I guess energy crisis. It's peak. It's fucked. Man, gonna be all kinds of fruit. Thus, his households could experience a series of 3-hour power cuts this winter if Vladimir Putin shuts off gas supplies from Russia and Britain experiences a cold snap. National Grid has warned. Yeah, because I think Italy got cut off. Italy got cut off from their gas supplies. And who the fuck else was it? I'm not sure. With the what's it called? Being blown up as well. The Nord Stream as well being blown up. It's kind of peak, and as far as how much of an impact it's gonna have remains to be seen. But everyone's aware. I think Germany's the most fucked. But the UK is also fucked as well. Because says what such an event would mean consumers in different parts of the country being notified a day in advance of 3-hour blocks of time during which their power could be cut off in an effort to reduce total consumption by 5%. Yeah, and I think they said it's like, you might the shit might fucking I'm assuming they're planning to do it in the dead of night, because if that shit happens in the daytime, it's fruit, all kinds of fruit. It's actually wild, because I'm assuming they wouldn't cut off traffic lights, street lamps, all that kind of shit. But who the fuck knows? It would actually be wild if it is on that scale, because if there's people that are out, they might be out of the town having a good time, then they'll just be caught out there. Caught the fuck out there with not knowing what the hell's going on. So it says, such an event, okay. So it says emergency plan would need to be approved by King Charles on the recommendation of the Prison Secretary. National Grid said that in the unlikely event of a shortage of gas supplies, that some consumers would be without power for predefined periods during the day to ensure that the overall security and integrity of electricity across Great Britain. It said there will be reduced electricity imports from Europe and insufficient. No, there would have to be reduced electricity imports from Europe, which is very likely. As far as when it gets tight, if Russia's cutting, everyone's going to be fucked. Germany's going to likely be the most fucked. A lot of Eastern European countries are going to be the most fucked. Them guys have up to 90% reliance on Russia, so they'll just be paying in rubles. They'll just say fuck the US and give the energy, especially because they have more brutal winters. And who gives a fuck? Man need to if men are freezing to death, their government's not going to be around very long. So it says what it said there. Okay, yeah. and insufficient gas supply to power stations for the planned power cuts to happen. National Grid has published a range of scenarios that could occur this winter as it assesses a highly uncertain period for power supplies. Now the thing I'm thinking is, this is as far as these plans have gone. There could be worse circumstances where multiple days could be required, longer periods of time, all that shit. I'd have to look at what they put together. So as the National Grid has published a range of scenarios that could occur this winter as it assesses a highly uncertain period for power supplies amid the fallout from Russia's invasion of Ukraine. A senior industry source said, "We're heading into a winter in an unprecedented situation. Even during the Cold War, the Soviet Union kept the gas flowing, so it's very unpredictable. But the gas has now become part of the what's it called? It's become part of the war. It's become an aspect of how Russia's going to utilize its influence over Europe and the economy in the rest of the world to basically bring about what they're looking for. So it's not the same scenario, because I'm not sure to what extent nations were entwined with Russian gas before, but now it's peak. National Grid has worked on a series of initiatives to attempt to manage supply and demand this winter. It's ready to call into action 5 coal-fired power plants, which can generate up to 2 gigawatts of power, after signing deals with Drax, EDF and Uniper at the cost of $340 million to $395 million. We'll also launch, so that means it's going to be, the economy is going to be fucking absolutely totaled once winter's over, because they said the energy price guarantee that might possibly get extended is already costing an arm and a leg. And this program, and if it's worse than it appears, especially if there's a cold snap, it's gonna get wild, man. Like the UK economy already fucking was on its way to bottom out 2 weeks ago, a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. So yeah, it's if that shit's gonna survive, I have no fucking clue. And Liz Truss is already looking like a complete and total clown, in the eyes of the public. She came in and basically shat her, she basically came in with one policy. The first policy, first she came in with the mini budget. She had to flip-flop on it. So now she's looking like an absolute fucking clown. And it's feeding that uncertainty. And really it's looking like there's a few angles by which a few angles by which the UK economy is going to be going fucking tits up. This is what also launched a demand flexibility service on the 1st of November that will encourage businesses and consumers to use power outside of peak demand periods, including early evenings and weekdays. Outside of consumers with smart meters will be notified the day before and will be paid for using power outside of those times. But these kinds of things, who the fuck even knows? And people are really going to be turning the telly off, turn off the fridge. That's the other peak thing, because I'm sure, let me see if it's in here. Nah, I don't think so, but I'm saying your fridge as well, you'd have to put it on extra cold for a bit before. It's kind of fucked, because if the power just cuts for 3 hours, there's all kinds of shit that could just go be completely fucked. It's as well with people working from home, that's still something that is quite popular, at least for a few days, so it'd affect that. The fucking public transport, that shit's gonna be completely gone. I think they're still doing night tube for certain places, so it's like that kind of shit will be fucked. It's basically, it will be back to the, as they call it, the dark ages. For a lot of people, it'll be fucked, and they won't be able to hack it. Saying keep a fucking candle close by. But it's fucked. It's winter's gonna be peak, because there's all kinds of shit. It's just gonna be peak, man. 1 Thessalonians 5 and 1, it says, "But the times and seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape." No. That peace and safety, it's all gonna go. These guys said they'll have like a day in advance to notify, but who knows? There's basically it's a point now where shit intensified, and depending on what how these relationships continue. Depending on how Russia wants to tackle the winter, Russian cold, that's extra special. So I don't know what the fuck's going to be going on between Ukraine and Russia during, whilst between Ukraine and Russia during the winter. Shit might cool off, it might not, man. Them men can keep lobbing missiles. So it's who knows how it's going to go. But that peace and safety, that shit's far and beyond. Because I think it even said towards the bottom, it said whilst Britain, it says although Britain's not relying on Russian gas, imports are exposed to the knock-on effects. So it's like even with it seeming like it's basically just coming off, only affect those that are basically importing it. It's gonna affect everyone. Because if that makes up a certain, if someone you're buying from, that makes up a certain portion of it, then it makes up a certain portion of it, then you're going to feel it when you're having to pay. Ezekiel 38:2 says, "Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. I prophesy against him, and say, Thus saith the Most High Power, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. And I will turn thee back, and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords." Yeah, so the hooks are going to get put in the jaw. Well, when I say going to get put, the hooks have been put in the jaw, they've been flipped back, and it's like now they're looking to contend. And that gas, that energy, that's like part of the contention. And that's even why you got, Iran is meant to be selling Russia drones. India's, relations with China, with Russia, they're warming up. A block. Basically, you're seeing those economic blocks building, and energy is a key way that's going to be enforced. Same with, China has access to financial aspects of, the relationship with America. So, it's peak. We'll see how it shakes out in the end. But what? It's that contention, man. It's that war. It's essentially all these nations getting put in what? Into that big meat grinder. And now you're seeing the not political, what's the word? The financial, the build up more or less to the raw boots on the ground aspect. Joel 3:9, it says, "Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. thither, cause thy mighty ones to come down on more sand. Let the heathen be wakened, come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. And that's all building up to. That's why it's now become a conflict of energy in Europe. That's one of the key things, which is why the Nord Stream getting blown up is so significant. And who did it? Probably America. But yeah, I'll leave it there. Shalom.